What's up, everybody? It's me, Feather. Welcome to Feathered Leo Tarot, where it's Leo here all the time. And it doesn't matter where Leo is at in your chart or for a cross watcher. We're going to do whatever comes out. So you never know what to expect when you're dealing with anything tarot. So don't force it to fit. If you want it, take it, claim it, all of that. If not, go watch something else. I got plenty of content for you to ingest, digest, and whatever. Anyway, thank you so much for your likes, share, subscribe, your donations. I love your request reads. I hope you're all doing well. This is a timeless reading. Let's get into it and let's talk about it. So, if you're here during the live, thumbs up, click the live chat button down below. Let's do this thing. Let's do this thing. Got a little bit of a lag on my streaming software, but we're going to get into it anyway. Let's do this. My camera. All right, lights, camera, action. So let's talk about it, Leos. Where are we going here? For my Leos, whatever comes out, what messages do my Leos need to hear? What messages do my Leos need to hear? What messages? Something funny? What? Something funny? What? Okay. So you got some things that you're thinking about taking care of, thinking about changing. So if you're thinking about changing things in your life, maybe you have some different choices, some different options. This could be love, romance, it could be life in general, where it's like you got some ideas about changing some things. You're kind of getting your mind organized. Good morning. Hello, Sheila. It's like you're getting your mind organized. There's some changes coming, okay? So if you are considering changing your your body image, your clothes, your house, something. Yeah. You're changing something up. And if it's stressing you out, or if you have a problem procrastinating, small changes are the best thing. Like one thing at a time, one day at a time, like try and organize those pieces. Okay. Organize your mind first. Make lists or organize your mind, make lists, and then kind of go from there. Okay. It's like, don't try and rush anything. Just steady as she goes, one thing at a time. Oh boy. Things will change gradually. Okay. Some of you might be changing your bathroom, changing something in your bathroom or your home. You may be getting a new tub. You know what? That's funny. That's funny, Fred. My master bathroom is the last part of the house that internally that needs to be rebuilt. And I was actually just thinking, looking at tubs and tub prices. It's funny that I'm saying this, but I have Leo Moon, Leo Rising. This is something I thought about within the last month. But instead of putting in a new tub, I'm thinking about putting in a jacuzzi, like an actual jacuzzi. There's enough room there. So we'll see. I don't know if the floor will handle it. It's not a concrete floor. Lioness is here. So some of you, if you're feeling hopeless about money and finances, just little things each and every day. Some of you, this could be maybe you're looking at new homes, looking at buying a house, stuff like that. That can be arduous. I'm gonna take a deep breath here. That could be arduous because, you got to get your financing in place first. So if you're looking at buying a house, if you're looking at getting a job, if you're looking at a new relationship, whatever it is, kind of like organize your mind in regards to any changes before you decide to go through with anything. Okay. It's like, just think about the steps that need to be taken, got to get your financing, got to get your credit score up, got to get your financing established first before you can start looking for a house. You know what I'm saying? Then you start looking for a house, then you start bidding on homes, that kind of stuff. I'm no real estate agent. I'm no investment guru. No, But like, if you want to start looking at houses and stuff like that, go ahead, because it can give you an idea. Or you can start looking at Pinterest for shit if you're wanting to redecorate and things like that. But if it's kind of like overwhelming when you think of it all at once, just one step at a time. Put it into steps and then take care of the steps from there. You know what I mean? Little steps. One step at a time. When we get the big picture, when we can just be like, fuck, I can't believe this, And this is even in regards to relationships too. Thanks, Fred. Sometimes when we're getting into a new relationship or in a relationship, it doesn't matter. We start thinking about the projection of it. Where is it going? Where is it headed? What's up, Redbeard? Where is it going? Where is it headed? How far in advance can is this my everything? Are we going to have kids? We're going to get married, blah, blah, blah. Where are we going to live, retire, blah, blah, blah. You plan out the whole, women do this a lot. Women do this a lot. I don't know if guys do this because I'm not a guy. I'm not a man. I am masculine, but I don't man think, you know what I mean? So I don't know how they do things, but guys, y'all can tell me whether or not this is true. But women, you typically get into a relationship, or even when you think about a person and you start having a crush on somebody, you plan 30, 40 years in advance. Stop doing that shit. Let's take one day at a time. Let's just enjoy the things that are happening. Of course, you want to make sure you're vetting a person and you're wanting to make sure that you're asking the right questions. I do have a video about that on my main channel at Get Feathered. I believe it's under relationships and dating. I don't know, and I'm not going to take the time to look at it right now because I'll probably get lost and I'll lose my stream and all of that stuff, but whatever, whatevs. I guess I could pull up YouTube here. Whatever. Check out my relationships and dating playlist on my main channel at Get Feathered. Links in the description. But you got to vet people properly. You want to make sure that people are in alignment with what you're wanting, and if they're not, then you know that that's not necessarily a relationship for you, right? If you want to have fun, have fun. But if you are actually wanting to establish a long-term thing and the other person's like not interested in a long-term thing, you got to work those things out in the beginning. The first 6 to 8 weeks, you should know whether or not somebody is in alignment with what you're desiring for the future. But don't be like, oh my God, I have total crush on you. Oh my God, are you going to have babies? What are our babies going to look like? Are we going to live together? Are we going to let it flow, brah? You know what I'm saying, sis? Yeah. Page of Pentacles, some of you have a new job coming in or a new relationship coming in, and it's like, you know what? Okay, so maybe you were ghosted, or it said take the rings off. All right, maybe you were ghosted. Maybe you dealt with something where you've been kind of financially under the weather, spending a little too much, not really established or doing very well. You plan ahead. Cool. Thanks, Redbeard. Appreciate that. Women just get on it. They start crushing on a person and they're just like, oh my God, I wonder if we'll have, the house in the burbs, or if we'll move in together, how soon we'll live together, everything all at once, I'm a woman. I can say that. I don't do it so much anymore. Used to. Page of Pentacles. So some of you may have been ghosted. You may have dealt with some bullshit, and you just kind of lackluster, not really feeling very hopeful for a new future. A new job is coming in for some of you. Some of you, this could be a person that's coming in for you. So get your ducks in a row before this happens. Oh God. Lord. Fred says, I want to tell a story. Queen of Swords, you need to know this. Okay, in advance. So get your ducks in a row. If you're wanting a relationship and you ain't got enough money to pay your bills, maybe you want to consider working on your finances first. If you want to buy that house, make sure your credit score is up there. Talk to the banks. Find out who's got better financing. Find out what kind of loans are better and are more appropriate for you. USDA rule. Anyway, there's stuff out there. You know what I'm saying? It's like, do your research. Put your ducks in a row. Get your ducks in a row. If you're wanting to start a new program, a new college program, new skill set, trade school, business. There's all kind of stuff coming in here. Y'all just breathe. Business projects, anything, jobs. It's like get everything lined up before you start moving forward, because a lot of you have been ghosted, or you've been not great financially, and you've kind of been in a place of hopelessness, or just feeling lost and not really having that joie de vivre, that stuff about you where you just feel like, tackling the day, it's like, okay, something puts you into this energy and you kind of blah, or just like, fucking nothing ever works out. Nothing ever, why bother? What's the use? It can be a struggle when you're looking at the bigger picture of it all. So just back out of that, get your ducks in a row, make the list, and just tackle things as needed. First things first. I make lists for lists, and I never accomplish most of my lists. I have notebooks full of lists, okay? So just kind of hold back. Don't just go leaping towards something. It doesn't matter if it's a relationship or a job or something like that. Do your research, put your ducks in a row, get everything settled or situated, and make sure that you are not overwhelming yourself. Damn, this is coming through really fast. You're not overwhelming yourself, so that you can actually transition more smoothly into new things, okay? You are very hopeful for a beautiful, you actually have a beautiful connection coming in here with a fire sign, possibly Gemini. We got Aries, Aquarius, Aries, Leo, Sag. Lots of decisions. Ooh, look at that. The devil in reverse. What is the devil here? Ten of Swords, ending some sort of, ooh, good God. Okay. All right. Some of you had a situation where you were invested in somebody and your heart was absolutely invested in it, and you ended up getting your shit fucked up. Okay, let's just say it. You got your heart space. I mean, Three of Swords is here. You were totally invested in, it could have been a Cancer, Pisces, or Scorpio, doesn't have to be, but it's like you thought the world of this person. Your heart was invested in this person. Could have been a Capricorn, but there was definitely toxic energy here, or very unhealthy dynamic. And I don't know, could have been an obsession of yours. I don't know. That is coming to an end. A very, very, and it could just be love in general, where you invested in third-party energies, where maybe you were third party, or you allowed yourself to be in relationship with people that put you as a third party. You're like, no, you're taking major power here. You're taking your power back. So you have many choices and options and opportunities coming in for you, because you're taking your power back in regards to this situation. And again, it may have been many relationships, or it may have been one specific. Okay. But the devil energy is in reverse. So you're releasing this obsession, or this toxic behavior, or this pattern where you may have invested your heart into people that weren't investing their heart space into you. Or that they hurt you more than they helped you, basically. So you're giving and loving and all of this, unconditionally loving energy, and they're just feeding bullshit back to you. That's coming to an end. That cycle of pain is over. Not only is the devil in reverse, congratulations for releasing whatever toxic, unhealthy obsession, pattern, or person that was for you. 10 Swords, done. Next to the King of Wands, which is you're showing up as a lion in this card. Blam. You see, I saw the light. Yeah, you saw the light. Yes, you did. And not only that, but this is major loving yourself too. Like, I'm investing in loving myself. I'm pulling my energy back from that. And that's heartbreak over. Blam. I ain't saying that you ain't never going to remember it, or that you won't hurt sometimes when you think about it, but I seriously doubt it'll be much. I seriously doubt it'll be much. You're taking your power back in regards to love. You've been taking your power back, but this is going to happen quick. I just heard fast, like sudden realization. I don't see the tower and stuff out here, but I'm feeling it. It's like it dawns on you that you've allowed yourself to be, third parties. What are third parties? That's anything outside of you and another person building a relationship. Now, when you're building a relationship with somebody, you're building a third energy. That is the relationship energy. Okay? It's you and your independent self and them and theirs, and then you're building and creating a relationship energy. Well, that relationship energy is something that you both need to focus on in order to make it strong and healthy, right? Why keep coming back together? Because you're building this amazing thing that's supposed to grow, and it's not that you are connected at the hip or anything. It's like, what is that relationship energy for you? Does it work for you both? Can you be independent of each other? Can you work on your own and do your own things, and while also building the relationship, but you're both putting energy into it? A third party can be a person, place, thing, mindset. It's something else is drawing someone's attention or distracting them away from creating a strong relationship, third energy. Okay. So it's you and that other person and the relationship in between, but something else is drawing someone's attention away from actually pursuing you or relationship or putting their time and effort into. So this could be my previous experience. I'm going to say hunting. That's his thing. But I know that that's his thing. That's what he enjoys. So that was something that pulled his energy away. But we still had the relationship thing and what we did. But that was what he did. And it took a lot. And there's a lot of hunting wives out there just like, I'm single for hunting season, pretty much. But that takes a lot of energy away from the relationship. As long as you're still building the relationship while you're still like, I do this. This is what I do. I'm also a mother, and I run a household. So that's my energy that pulls me away from relationships. So you still have to come together to build or continue to put energy into the relationship. Sometimes somebody may be like, more interested in party life, or party girl, party goer, drugs and alcohol, that kind of stuff. And that pulls them away from building that relationship energy, and some people are just like, I'm not interested at all in commitment. I just want to come in and get what I want and tap out, tap in, tap out, tap in, tap out. So it just depends. Some people have a lot of fears that create a problem so that they can't really focus on building that relationship energy. Anyway, I could go on all day about that, but this could have been you. Okay, that could have been your devil energy. Whatever this devil energy is for you, that's being put to rest. I mean, it's going away. So it's like, once this realization happens in regards to love, some shit's going to shift for you. I want to do something further on this. What is this devil energy? What I just feel to bridge this gap for me. Okay. All right. So this may be communication. This may be some sort of acknowledgement, but it's going to happen fast. There's the 8 wands. I told you. Which helps you make a decision. So if you've been at a crossroads in regards to love, relationships, maybe 2 people or a specific person, or wondering whether or not you're ready to open up to love, or if you want it, whatever, you've kind of been stagnant here, sitting here. And the devil energy can sometimes be fears, not wanting to move forward, open up to new options, whatever it is. Some of you may have been waiting for some sort of communication, which has kept you at a stalemate. Whatever. It's like epiphany moment had. You will go through this very soon, where you just realize, it's like you get some sort of download, or you just realize, it's like you wake up one day and you're just like, what the am I doing? What am I doing? What am I afraid of? Why am I not going out and meeting people? Why am I still sitting at home? COVID has lifted in most places. So why can't I go out? I should be going out. I should be doing things. Why am I not talking to people? Why am I not moving forward? And this is like total shift. Once you figure out what this is, or you have this epiphany for yourself, it's like you're gonna start seeing the options and opportunities that you have around you. Okay, so some of you have uh, some bigger picture kind of things happening where it's like you get overwhelmed by the bigger picture, so bring it back down to manageable steps, okay, so that you have more faith moving forward and less hopelessness. You understand? When you're bigger picture, thinking about all of the things, the what ifs, the why isn't it, the oh my God, you get overwhelmed, bring it back down to manageable pieces so you can at least be like, okay, I can do this. I can get that done. I can make that step. I can definitely get that done today. I can get that done today. Or, maybe I should reach out and talk to that person, or maybe I should go out with my friends. Maybe I should go have coffee, or I could possibly go on a date with that person. Yeah, they asked me out, I'll go on a date. Instead of like, oh my God, is this the person? Is this the one? Bring it back down to manageable steps here. Okay, little pieces at a time. Ducks in a row, get everything lined up, and transition more easily moving forward. Okay. And if you're in that big mindset of, am I ever going to be loved? Am I ever going to find the one? Am I ever, or is this person or what? Okay. Stop breaking your own heart here and start seeing that there are other fish in the sea. There are other people out there. If you're alone, lonely, or lost, whatever. Because a lot of you may be in that energy. It's like, okay, bring it in. Let's have a team meeting here with Feather and Fred, and let's talk about this for a second. Take a deep breath, first of all. One step at a time, one day at a time. Okay? Somebody wants to go out on a date with you. You want to go out on a date with somebody? All right. Cool. Go from there. You want to start getting out and then doing adventures, or you want to take on a new job? Okay. Start looking. Start putting out your applications. Whatever it is. One day at a time, one step at a time. Okay? Don't freak out. Don't panic. The more you freak out and panic, the more things will overwhelm you and the more hopeless you'll feel. Okay? Don't do that. And then the more hopeless you feel about anything, the more you'll freeze and won't take steps towards it, because then you're going to be afraid. Okay? So it looks like there's some majors happening here. And I think that fear has a lot to do with it. Your own patterning in regards to a lot of things. But in love especially, because, well, you've definitely gone through a breakup or some sort of, or you will be. Some of you may be going through a breakup. You may be finding out something. You've been waiting for some. It looks like for some of you in regards to love, you may have some choices here. You may be dealing with a couple different people. But for some reason, I'm getting that this is coming through pretty heavily. Some of you have been waiting for someone to communicate with you. Okay? And this has actually put you at a stalemate. And you're actively wanting to make a choice. Maybe you want to reach out to them. Some of you, you've just really been waiting for this communication to come in, and it's like nothing is happening. Well, are you keeping yourself in a situation that's unhealthy for you? Like, are you keeping yourself at a stalemate for a reason? Like, is this person really a good person? Or are you waiting on somebody that's ghosted you to reach out and communicate, to offer you something when they're not even on your level? It's not even on your level. If a person wants to be in your life, they would be in your life, right? That's one of the hardest things to wrap our head around. When we get ghosted, we want to know why. Okay? We have to be courageous enough and bold enough to not give an F why somebody ghosted us. Okay? This day and age, ghosting is the easiest way to break up with people, because they don't have to take accountability for shit. Okay? They don't have to take accountability. They don't have to be responsible. And if you'll watch the television show MTV did, ghosted, it actually validates and confirms it. Okay. I've watched every one of their episodes, and it's actually a really great show. It's actually geared towards getting people back together and getting that closure kind of kind of stuff. But a lot, some of them end up not getting back together, and then some of them do. But it's one of those things that I've learned through watching that and from dealing with my own clients and readings and stuff, that it's the easiest way for people to check the fuck out, and that is their answer. If they walk away for a couple of days, don't panic, don't freak out. But if you haven't heard from somebody in about 3 days, unless there is a good reason, and you're establishing a relationship, or you are in an established relationship, you should at least be checking in with each other, right? But I tell people all the time, give it a time limit. If you haven't heard from somebody in 2 weeks, I would say less than 2 weeks, definitely not over 2 weeks. I'm sorry, I'm not waiting on somebody. If they've checked out, so am I. But you have to get yourself to the point where you have enough courage and dignity to not give a fuck what they've done, and take that as their answer and need no other clarification. Because some of you may be waiting for that clarity. Like, why haven't they reached out to me? Why haven't they talked to me? Why don't they love me? What's wrong with me? Look, listen, let's get to the point where we can just say someone ghosted me. That is their answer. They would rather puss out and walk away than tell me what's up. No communication is communication. That is a no. Okay? That is checking out. It's taking no accountability, not being responsible for a relationship, and we hold on to that, and we internalize that shit, and we beat ourselves up about it. What's wrong with me? Why don't they love me? Why haven't they reached out to me? I'm telling you exactly what goes on when you're ghosted, because I've friggin' been there, and it sucks. And you're left wondering, why? And that's painful within itself. Not just the fact that you can't talk to the person you thought you had a relationship with, or that you were trying to. Anyway, the thing is get yourself to the point where you don't care. You understand? You know you better than anybody else knows you. Okay? Outside of the universe and all of that. You know yourself better than anybody. Are you a good person? Are you a decent person? Do you treat people well? Are you a good communicator? Do you dog people out? Do you, how do you treat somebody? And would you do that to somebody? And if the answer is all like, I'm amazing, I'm a good person, I'm pretty good, and didn't know, there's no way I would ghost somebody. I would tell them that I'm not interested, or I would at least try and smooth things over, clear the air, and then move on in an adult manner, giving closure, and so that we can both walk away healed, or healing as we walk away. Then you don't need somebody else's response or recognition or input. You can close any deal. Some of you may have a pattern of dealing with people who ghost you. Well, it's time to change that shit. It's time to take back some sort of power here and start improving your relationships. Like, look, you may be in a relationship with somebody who is shy or who doesn't really communicate unless they have to. And I'm going to tell you, as a communicator myself, oh boy, that's stressful. But it's just learning. It's not that it can't be a great relationship. You have to learn how to communicate with each other in that relationship. Okay. It can be tough, especially if somebody has a different love language or something like that. You just have to learn how to balance that communication out, or you just have to learn how to do that together as the relationship progresses. And if it's not something you can work out, then, you say that. Different lifestyles, different love languages. We just can't get along, whatever. We can't get it together. We tried, move on. But you say that and move on. In this case, it's more of a, in these cases, what I'm seeing here is more of a, you may have a history of people breaking your heart, choosing third parties. If you're dating people that are married or in other connections, come on, you're automatically dooming yourself to begin with. I'm going to be honest with you. If you are dating a married man or woman and they are living with another person, you're already doomed or dooming your relationship. Could it work out? 9 times out of 10, it does not. Okay? Somebody ends up hurt, and it's usually you. Okay? Now, relationships are complex sometimes, but I suggest wrap up the karma with the first person before you decide to move on with another person. And I'm going to be honest with you, and a lot of you ain't going to like what I have to say, and I don't give a fuck. But the fact is, it's you get involved in something before you finished out something else, you still have energy connected to that something else. For instance, you're married and you're dating somebody. This is just an example, okay? Or you're out here dating somebody, whatever, and you're living with your soon-to-be spouse, okay? Soon-to-be, ex-spouse. And you're out here dating and getting shagged and having fun and all that stuff. Cool. But you meet somebody, that somebody is single, free, and clear, and then after several months, it's like 3 to 6 months in. What are we going to do? Well, I'm married. I have this, that, and the other going on. Okay, well, are we planning on living together at some point? Okay. Well, I've got kids and I've got this stuff and I've got that stuff and we have a house that we have to sell and we have this, that. There's so much involved with that. That should not be the other person's problem. That person should not have to deal with that. So if you're upfront about it and that person accepts the fact that they're dating a married individual and that relationship is coming to an end, that's one thing. But if you just swing it on over and then don't divulge that information, that's very painful and hurtful 3 to 6 months in, when that other person is looking at you like, oh my God, this is possibly my everything, my wish come true. And you're like, bomb dropped, I'm married. Well, that could be another year or more if it's an amicable divorce, processing the paperwork, paying for everything, having to go to mediation, having to do all that shit. That's a whole nother stressor. Plus having to make sure that your person is not freaking the hell out and they're not going to walk away because you're dealing with all this stress. They shouldn't have to be involved in that. Address that shit before you move on. Because a lot of you have dated people that are in those situations. I'm married, I'm staying together because of the kids or finances or family. Yeah. Well, then don't swing that shit my way, because I'm not interested. When somebody you're dating is involved in something else, or you find out that they are, you need to learn how to back out, because those situations is what I'm seeing that a lot of you wait on. And 9 times out of 10, and I'm just going to say it, can it work out? Maybe. 9 times out of 10, no. Because you're the one sitting there waiting for the other person to decide on whether or not they're going to leave their family, whether or not they're going to move away from their children, or even file the divorce, because, well, some people just don't want to have to pay for it. Some people don't want to have to pay their ex. Some people don't want to have to deal with the stress of, separating the kids from, the parents and all of that stuff. It's big. It's a big deal. It's a big stressor. It's one of the biggest stressors there are. Outside of losing your home, losing your job, going through a divorce. Big, and of course, losing a loved one. Those are huge stressors. Don't involve yourself in that kind of shit. Be able to recognize that stuff up front. Now, if you're like me and the bomb gets laid down later and you're already involved a year later, you still got to have standards. You got to be able to say, I don't care how much I love you, and I don't care how great the D or the P is. Until that's resolved, I have standards, and I'm not backing down. You should have told me this shit in the beginning. Well, I don't care if you believe you were or not. That is something I would have celebrated, and I would keep the paperwork for it. So regardless of what you say, handle your shit before you step my way. Okay? It's being able to have your standards, hold your ground, and honor yourself. Okay? That's loving yourself. Honoring yourself, self-respect, and valuing yourself. Those are big things here. But I see that you're taking back some sort of personal power, and that's going to illuminate some choices and some decisions that you might have to make. Okay? Some of you just might be like, I don't got no options. There's nobody around. But when you take back a certain level of confidence, a certain level, you got the King of Wands here. When you have this level of confidence, nothing will shake you. Not much. Not much. Because I'm not talking about being an asshole here. I'm not talking about like hating people. I'm talking about, hey, I love you, but you're married. Point is, I'm not dating a married individual because there's too much involved in that. I don't know whether or not you will or will not ever be able to be married to me, but until you are free and clear, I'm stepping back and doing me. You go do you. When you're free and clear, find me. If I'm free and clear, we'll see what happens. It's being able to have that kind of confidence and standards that really shines through here. Okay? And also, if you're sitting here waiting for somebody that's already broken your heart or already lied to you or betrayed you, the F you doing? Seriously. That's a toxic trait. You're the toxic trait. Because you're waiting for somebody who's already lied to you and betrayed you and hurt you. Why? Because you don't think there's anybody else? Let's be real here. You're acting like a clown waiting for somebody who's already betrayed you. Put you as a third party, broken your heart, lied to you, deceived you, whatever it may be. I don't care how much you love that person. Why are you still waiting for them if they're not showing up for you? You're saying, I'm ready to make a decision in regards to these kinds of things. Okay, that's where the confidence and power and the standards needs to be put in place there. It's like, you know what? You're right, Feather. I got a pattern of doing this. I let people walk all over me. I let people come back, tell me they love me. Then I start to invest or whatever, whatevs. And because I got a big, beautiful heart and I love them, I give them that respect and I wait for them. Meanwhile, you're waiting for them for how long? How long? You know what I mean? So it's like there's a confidence and a power that you need to pull in about you, and it's got a semblance of standards here. Because people, a lot of my clients have a tendency to, I'm an empath. I don't care what you are or what you label yourself. What you don't have is standards. What you don't have is confidence and conviction. Because if you did, you wouldn't allow somebody to continually hurt you the way that they do. And you wouldn't allow yourself to fucking sit there and wait for them and cry and whine and worry when somebody ain't worried and whining about you. Okay? If they're not whining and dining you, then what are you doing? You know what I'm saying? Like, seriously, you're not living life. You're sitting stagnant. And you're doing it to yourself. You're allowing yourself to do it. So your choice here is be a fool waiting for this shit or take control of this shit. And that is power moves right there. And a lot of times, you know, that foolish behavior can be like fantasy. And, you know, I'm not saying that they don't say they love you or, you know, they fill your head full of future faking and all this stuff. I don't care. What you have to bring it down to the brass tacks of it is decision. whether or not you're living in fantasy land or they told you that they're going to do all of these things, bring it back to you. It's not about them, it's about you. How long have you been waiting? How did they treat you? How do you feel dealing with them? And why do you allow it? Okay, bring it back to you. And in that is the decision. Okay, you get to make the decision because it's not up to them. You're giving somebody your power, and you're the one that actually gets to make the decision. I make this or break this. I choose to decide to create this third energy with this person, or I do not. I choose to sit here waiting and nurturing this relationship, or I do not. Let's look at what that person is putting into the mix. Is it just all talk, no action? Do they ever show up? What is their part of that third energy, that relationship energy? What are they doing? Oh, they're gone more than they're there? Look, I'll take a friends with benefits any day that is there, that is attentive, that is aware, and we have an agreement that that is the relationship that we have, over somebody who is bullshit lying to me about, oh, I love you, I'm still married, I'm still sleeping in the same bed, or we're not sleeping in the same bed, but we're still living together because of kids. Listen, I don't give a fuck what their decision is. When they say they're still married, that should be stop sign. Okay? Because that means until that is addressed, they can't move forward with you. You can't buy property together. Can you be on a lease together? Possibly. Can you buy property together? Can you buy vehicles together? Can you get married? No, because it's an instant stop sign because they're already connected to somebody else. Until they address that, they can't be with you. Okay? I would take an equal, mutual, friends with benefits situation that is sturdy, steady, and stable. You know, even if neither one of us is wanting to be more, I would take that any day over somebody that is telling me that they're going to be with me someday and never showing up. Oh, someday. And then kind of maybe someday showing up. Or they ghost you and then they come back, they ghost you and they come back. No, I'm talking about a friends with benefits where you see each other once or twice a week. You get your needs met. You hang out. You do whatever. I'd rather have that any day because it's a mutual agreement. We live apart. We do ourselves. We do our thing. And together we come together to do certain things. Okay? Over somebody who is constantly swinging. It's like swinging in, swinging out, swinging in, swinging out. You don't know from one day to the next if they're lying to you, if they're telling you the truth, if they're ever going to get divorced, if they are sleeping with their ex, whatever. You have no idea because you don't live inside of that. So that should be an instant stop sign if you have that kind of thing going on. And again, same thing. Sturdy, stable, friends with benefits relationship. I would choose that over somebody who has betrayed me, lied to me, or put me as a third party. Because you know that they have done it and they'll more than likely do it again. If somebody has ghosted you and comes back and does this kind of stuff, in and out, ghosts you, leaves you in the dark, you have no idea what's going on with them, that should be the stop sign that you need. So the biggest decision that you have to make is being somebody who just lets people run all over you. And sometimes it's our own pattern. We get stuck in that pattern of just allowing ourselves to just wait for people that aren't showing up for us. Radio silence. Okay? Or they're not showing up in the 3D. They're barely showing up. You're King of Wands versus the Fool reverse. Are you going to be the Fool, or are you going to raise your standards and your confidence level at the same time? Do you understand? It's like some reason the universe wanted me to preach to you today. You know, you may be thinking, this person is my everything. I love this person. My heart is invested in this person, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. But what are they doing for you? Is it just words? Or are they showing up? Do they just speak to your heart, but they don't show up for you? Oh yeah, baby, I love you. I love you. I gotta go. I gotta take kids to camp. And then we're going to a family vacation in a couple months. Family vacation. Listen, I'm not going to say any names, but I got to say this because I get all kind of crazy shit because I am online and I'm out here for everybody to see. You may be able to resonate with this. I don't know why Fred wants me to tell you this, but I got to say it. And I don't care if it pisses this person off or not, but not going to say any names. But just recently, well, in the past, I'd say in the past 6 months or so, 6 months to a year, whatever, this person was a client of mine. And I chose, there's been, that's it. But we have it. I tell everybody to update me. So if you're a client of mine, you have my number, and I want updates. I want to know that you're doing well, how you're progressing, that sort of thing. So that's how this person has an inside line to me. And just recently, so last year, this individual went through a divorce and is still living with their ex. There's been some communication, and I know that it's flirtation, and I'm flattered, all that, but it's like I'm not interested in that. But just recently there was a little more of a hint of flirtation in my direction from this person, and I had enough. Because they're still, and I'm like, dude, I don't date people at a distance. And not only that, but you're still living with your ex. Like, do you not listen to anything I say ever? Because there's no fucking way. So I had to block that person. I had to, because it's a breach of professional. I can't with that. It's too much. Like, I am not. Do you not listen to what I say online to my tribe every single day? I'm not interested in dating anyone at a distance, and I'm definitely not interested in, and I've said these things, not interested in dating somebody who is living with their ex. Sorry. Not interested. Well, then it took a different spin to asking me in some strange way about, I don't even remember how it twisted from that. Instead of saying, okay, I understand or whatever, it twisted into another question. And at that point I was like, you know what? I'm out. You're blocked. You're done. Because I'm not going to continue to talk to this individual, because this individual is not understanding. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. So sometimes you have to be boss. Sometimes you have to do what hurts. And a lot of times we have to make decisions that hurt us more than it hurts them. Did you hear what I just said? Sometimes we have to be the ones that make the douchebag calls to hurt somebody, but it don't end up hurting them. It hurts us, because we have all this love for somebody, and yet we have to be the ones to sever ties with it, end it. We have to be the ones to end it. We have to make the radical decision to cut ties with shit. It ends up hurting our heart space because we had to end it. We had to do what was right for us, and it hurts us in the long run. Like, motherfucker, I loved you, I cared about you. I wanted things to be, and then you ghost me, you dust me, you whatever, or you make stupid ass decisions that end up hurting me. Now I've got to be the bigger person and make the decision that severs these ties. Makes me look like the bad guy. And that ends up upsetting me and hurting me, because I had to make this decision. You put me in a place to make this decision. Yeah. Yeah. Makes you feel like shit, doesn't it? Makes you feel like shit. Oh, yeah. Yeah. For instance, the individual that I was dating and found out he was still married after dating him for a year, absolutely thought the world of this person. Sun rose and sunset in this motherfucker's body. He was gorgeous to me. Anyway, amazing. 90% amazing. Best relationship I think I've ever had. Beautiful. Anyway, I'm talking about just the whole thing, not just his body, but anyway. There was that moment I had to say, you either cave on this or you set the standard. Because if this person can lie about that, they can lie about anything. Whether or not that person knew for sure or not that he thought he was divorced. How you going to think you're divorced? How you think that was, I would have saved all of my paperwork. I would have made sure that shit was handled, stamped, and addressed by the judge. You understand? But I had my standards, and I had to stand by my standards no matter what. Now, I did take that person back a couple months later for another almost a year. But I said to myself, and we addressed it, I said, as long as you're progressing and you're showing me that you're doing something about it, I'll continue to date you. You know, because it's not like you were living together. It's not like you've seen that person in over 10 years. But it still needed to be addressed. That time came, that never happened. And anytime I questioned every 2 or 3 months, I would say, hey, you found out anything? Is anything progressing? I was the bad guy for asking. Defense automatically? Nope, that's a no for me. I'm sorry. If you're not willing to communicate with me about something that is a big deal for me, if that's not a big deal for you, then it's a no for me. You understand? So sometimes we have to be the douchebags that make the big decisions, the final call, so to say. But ultimately, you got that energy here. For some of you, somebody needed a preaching today, and I'm here on Sunday doing the preaching. Know what I mean? Sometimes we got to be the one because we love ourselves more to sever ties with the devil. We have to be the ones to end it. Okay? And it doesn't always feel good. It may end up hurting you more than it hurts them because they may not ever say anything. You may have to ghost another person because, well, they've ghosted you or they've treated you so poorly. I don't know. Whatever your situation, the situations that you're dealing with in regards to love, if this is making sense for you, and I'm preaching to you, there's a big decision in regards to love and how you relationship. Some of you could be in this relationship. Some of you are dealing with certain persons. Some of you may have multiple persons you're dealing with. And some of you, this is just love in general. Okay? There's no, it's never good when you have to go through an ending. They're always painful. But if you can make a decision that's best for you and hold yourself with confidence and knowing that you did what was best for you in your heart space, you know in your heart that you did the right thing for you. That's all that matters, no matter what anybody else says, no matter how much shit they talk, no matter how much shade they throw. If you feel for your best and highest good that you did what was right for you, then good on you, and I'm praising you, and I'm proud of you, because it's not always easy to make the hard calls on situations that fucking suck. Okay? And if this is third party energy, if it's betrayal, if it's neglect, if it's abandonment, somebody leaves you out in the cold, whatever, you have to be the one in charge, or you're going to end up being the fool every time. You're going to be the one that people walk over, or you're going to be the one that's a fool. I'm not saying be a hard ass and be an asshole. I'm saying you could be loving, but love yourself and have confidence and standards and take control of situations that really need to be cleaned up and swept out of your life, because these are toxic, unhealthy patterns that you're doing. You're allowing these kinds of connections, or this specific person. This is not easy. The Ten of Swords is pain. A painful cycle of relationships like this, or with this one specific person. And it's all like you're sitting here waiting for some of you, it's not for all of you, of course, whatever. But for those of you that are sitting here waiting for somebody to reach out and communicate, look, you got to call it like it is, and you got to stop waiting, because you're only holding yourself back. And you're basically saying, if you take this person back, if like, what are they doing? They've already hurt you and betrayed you before. What did they do to hurt you that bad? Do you not think you're better than that? Do you not think you deserve better than that? Dude, I would take a friends with benefits any day. I'd be like, hey, let's hook up for the next 6 months, and it's just you and me, and that's all we're doing, nothing else, rather than this bullshit right here. 10 swords, 3 swords, waiting for communication to come in. It never comes. It looks like the idea or the epiphany that needs to be had is for you to choose new. Because this is unhealthy patterns. This is obsession, or this is an unhealthy situation. And you may love it, but you can love it from a distance, because this right here is what you're feeling more than anything. All those swords, all those lies, deceits, betrayals, all that pain, arguing, causes you heartache. And I think for some of you, you don't necessarily want to be the bad guy. You know, everybody has to deal with a little bit of rain every now and then. And if you raising your standards and making decisions that are best for you cause people to talk shit about you, well, then you're doing something right. You know what I mean? Hey, love me or hate me, I'm still an obsession. So either you're loving me and you're giving me love and you're spending time with me and you're showing me that you care about me, or you do not. You are not. But either way, I'm going to love me more, and I'm not going to be treated like a fool, because I have standards. I look good. I get shit done. And I'm going to show up for myself, because you can talk shit about me all day long, and it's not going to hurt me. It's not going to hurt me. And if it does, then you're not there yet, and that's okay. Even if it does hurt seeing what other people say, if you are breaking up with somebody and somebody has deceived you or betrayed you or any of that shit, and you're still a part of their social media, you're still holding on to them. So sever those ties, you understand? If you are wanting to sever ties with all of it. No contact. Unless you have children and stuff like that. That's totally different. But in cases like this, it looks like most of you have been ghosted by somebody. And I'm going to have to say, bigger picture. What do you want for yourself? You may have wanted something amazing with that person, and that's great and that's wonderful. They may have promised you the fucking moon, sun, and stars. I don't care. But what are they doing today? What did they do yesterday? And how are they showing up for you tomorrow? Is there a plan? Because if there's not, then the decision is yours to call it like you see it and not try and fantasize or put any kind of big picture on it if there's nothing happening right now. I hope you understand that. Not everybody needed this message today. Until next time, like, share, subscribe. I hope to see y'all around real soon. Namaste.